hitches. This is News Hour on Trust TV, and my name is Abdurrahman Omar. Many thanks for joining, and you are welcome. Now let's begin on this note. President Bola Tinubu has suspended the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, from office with immediate effect. A statement from the presidential spokesman, Ajuri Ingilade, says the suspension is aligned with the president's avowed commitment to uphold the highest standards of integrity, transparency, and accountability in the management of the Commonwealth of Nigerians. The president, according to Ingilade, further directed the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to conduct a thorough investigation into all aspects of the financial transactions involving the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, as well as one or more agencies thereunder. He directed the suspended minister to hand over to the permanent secretary of the ministry and ensure that she fully cooperates with the investigating authorities as they conduct their investigation into cases of financial impropriety in the ministry. The president also tasked a panel that is headed by the coordinating Minister of the Economy and Minister of Finance to, among other functions, conduct a comprehensive diagnostic on the financial architecture and framework of the social investment programs with a view to conclusively reforming the relevant institutions and programs in a bid to eliminate all institutional frailties for the exclusive benefit of disadvantaged households and win back lost public confidence in the initiative. In a related development, suspended minister was on Monday denied access to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The suspended minister was not allowed to meet with the president at the presidential villa in Abuja a few minutes after her suspension from office was announced. In the meantime, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has invited the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, to its headquarters located in Jabi area of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The invitation came less than 30 minutes after President Bola Tinubu announced Edu's immediate suspension from office. An operative of the EFCC who confirmed the development said the anti-graft agency had recommended the immediate suspension of the minister in order to pave way for the ongoing investigation that had been ordered by the president. The source noted that the commission had immediately swung into action after the president ordered a thorough investigation into the alleged payment of 585.189 million graft meant for vulnerable groups in Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Ogun, and Lagos states into a private account. Civil society organizations, activists, lawyers, and opposition political parties had called for her sack after the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, said on Saturday that the matter was under investigation. Now joining us via Zoom from Yola to provide some insight is Sunday Amos, the founder of Clearview Integrity Foundation, a civil society organization with focus on good governance and anti-corruption. Mr. Sunday, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening on News Hour. Now, what are your thoughts on the suspension of the minister? And it appears that she has been denied access to the president as investigations begin.
Yes, good evening.
I was saying that it affairs. What are your thoughts on the suspension of the minister? And it appears that the suspended minister has been denied access to the president.
Well, thank you very much. I think the suspension is a welcome development so that it can give way to thorough investigation. I think there's something that is said should be above reproach or something. And earlier today, we had this interview and where some of us were skeptical about whether or not anything was going to be done. So now that the minister has been suspended and is denied access, it's a good development. I hope they will see the investigation through. And if everything is proved to be the way it is, then she has no business being a minister of the Federal Republic.
Now, when you look at it, shouldn't President Tinubu be given the benefit of the doubt? Looking at the timely reaction of the administration on the allegations.
Well, with the sword of illegitimacy that is hanging upon him with respect to how he became president, I'm sure he would like to clean up and show that he means business. Everybody should be given benefit of the doubt. And that is why they should not play with issues of corruption. When things like this happen, they should not go about saying, we will do this, we will do that, but let them take swift action so that they can build back people's confidence in government that is at its very lowest as it is now.
Now, the law operates with an innocent until proven guilty principle, of course. Is it not fair to say nothing is conclusive yet, and so it will be premature to pass any judgment at the moment?
You are absolutely correct. And that is why this is invitation by the EFCC and investigation should take its logical course. I agree she should be the benefit of the doubt. She should be given the benefit of the doubt, invited, state her own case. And if she is proved to be guilty, then she leaves the seat for somebody to be to occupy the seat. But this suspension of the minister brings up a whole lot of new issues. What do you do with the others who have done so? I understand there's a special investigator. What of all of those other issues? It will amount to nothing if Edu is suspended and all the other atrocities are left under the carpet. So there's a whole lot of issues that this suspension should be able to unearth in Nigeria. I hope the government will be bold enough to take on all of these things so that we can see that they mean business.
All right, now give us a half-full perspective that can give Nigerians hope over the ongoing investigations and fight against corruption in this country.
Well, my brother, the antecedents have been bad, especially in the last administration of Buhari, where once you become a member of the ruling party, everything is swept under the carpet. So this government has an opportunity to show that it is different by taking on all those that have question marks on their service to the nation. When all of these investigations are carried out and people are found guilty, then as it is said, justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done. So I believe that we have a half-full outlook, opportunity. Buhari had 8 years. He squandered the whole thing. I hope that Tinubu will not squander the whole thing also. It will be most unfortunate, but I think they have a great opportunity to show that they mean business and they can do something about the issues of corruption in Nigeria.
Now, Mr. Sunday, before we let you go, let me get a quick comment from you concerning the ongoing investigation by the same former minister that was once a minister of the same ministry, that is in the person of former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Sadia Omar. What's your comment on her, this possible ongoing investigation?
First and foremost, I'm very sad that we are talking about women. But the women are showing that even in matters of corruption, whatever a man can do, a woman can do maybe even better. And it is very, very sad. But the reality of impunity has to be challenged and has to be addressed. What she was saying, seeing that she has been in that position for a long time, it leaves much to be desired. I just wish that EFCC will be allowed to do its work without any hindrance. If they are allowed to do their work, whoever that is found guilty should face the law. That is all I can say. I just hope that people will not start calling the EFCC chairman and say this and say that, and at the end of the day, nothing comes out of it. I hope that at the end of this investigation, if somebody is found guilty, they will not just be given a tap on the wrist and let go, or else nobody will believe in the sincerity of this government.
All right, we have been speaking to Sunday Amos, founder of Clearview Integrity Foundation. I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to join us on News Hour this evening. And good night.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Now, moving on. Nigerians have been reacting to the controversy surrounding the alleged illegal transfer of funds to personal accounts by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu. Trust TV's Habibat Ajayi reports that the action of the minister is seen in many quarters as an act of impunity which should attract severe sanctions. Her report.
Beyond the minister, other officials of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation are under scrutiny for the alleged multi-million naira transfer of public funds into private accounts. This issue originated from the suspicion and subsequent investigation of the CEO of the National Social Investment Program, hinting at the potential for a large-scale probe.
It's a culture of impunity, culture of violation of financial regulation, culture of violating public procurement law, culture of violating due process, and it is simply, driven with knowledge of people that supposed to stop it, and they have not taken any action. So even when the new minister came, this system continued.
Again, we have the judgment that asks the Nigerian government to give Nigerians, not share appendices as Nigerians, details of how much had come in by way of Abacha loot and how it has been spent. If these orders of court can be disobeyed at that level, why do you think impunity will not prevail in ministries, department, and agencies of government? So these things do not exist because we have people that are corrupt in those agencies. Is because of the level of impunity creating precedent for further impunity to occur.
Meanwhile, Nigerians have been applauding the president's swift response aimed at ensuring the effective and efficient allocation of public funds to address the citizens' needs.
Well, if you ask me, I think the reaction was prompt, and this is a plus to the president because he said he suspended the INSPA director. However, I think it's also good for this government. The reason because as they are coming up, they are seeing such expository situation. So this will guide them going forward that if you are my minister, if you are my DG, SA, MDAs, you must not do this, because it's not only that, you could also see the issue of transport, airports, taxi and Kogi, what have you. And that shows that there has been a gap in that ministry. So you cannot say you want to probe only these people. You have to go back and probe the situation right from the former minister, because the issue of transferring money to personal accounts did not arise now. It must have been there already. Perhaps this very Shehu has been in this ministry before this appointment. So that shows that there has been such game going on before now.
There are calls for the administration to restructure the mode of payment to beneficiaries to prevent such instances in the future. However, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu suspended the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Hedu, following controversies about financial transactions she authorized in her ministry. Happy Bartajai, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has detained a former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, for questioning over allegations of corruption in the handling of 37.1 billion naira social intervention funds during her tenure. Umar Farouk arrived at the headquarters of the Commission in Abuja in honor of an earlier invitation over the pending case on Monday morning. She posted via her X handle at 10:17 a.m. on Monday that she had just arrived at the Commission's office. The ex-minister, who has been probed over the sum of 37.1 million naira that was allegedly laundered under her watch through a contractor, James Okwete, arrived at the EFCC office on Monday morning. She was billed to face the crack detectives of the EFCC around 10 a.m. last Wednesday over alleged fraud, but was absent citing health challenges. Sources said some other officials who worked with her had equally been invited to provide an insight into how the affairs of the ministry were run in the last 6 years. And on judicial matters, Justice Olukayode Adeneye of the Federal Capital Territory High Court Abuja has ruled in favor of the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, awarding him 100 million naira in damages against the federal government. The judgment cites the violation of Emefiele's right to personal liberty. The court further declared Emefiele's prolonged detention without trial as a blatant infringement of his fundamental human rights. In addition, the federal government and its agents are now restrained from rearresting or detaining Emefiele without a court order. This verdict stems from a fundamental human rights suit filed by the former CBN governor addressing his extended detention by the Department of State Services. Emefiele sought not only the financial compensation of 1 billion naira, but also an injunction against future arrest or detentions without proper legal orders. Meanwhile, the coalition of Fulani groups in Plateau State under the umbrella bodies of Miyeta Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Makban, Gan Allah Fulani Development Association of Nigeria, Gavdan, Bajul Fulani, John Dejam, Kautal Hore, and Lawul Fulako, on Sunday claimed that they have lost 350 members between October 2023 and January 2024 in the state. The coalition also claimed that it has lost 834 cattle within the said period in various communities of Bariki-Ladi, Bokas and Mungu local government areas of the state. Ado Musa takes it from here.
The state chairman of Magban in Jos, Nur Abdullahi, said members of the Fulani living in various communities were being molested, maltreated, intimidated, and in many cases killed. This is the first time the leadership of the Fulani communities has come out to voice their apprehension over the recent attacks and killings in the villages of Bokos and Bariki-Ladi local government areas, where over 190 persons were killed. According to the groups, they have lost members and properties worth millions of naira in the recent violence in the state.
The Fulani community were sacked completely from 8 districts of Mangu local government, as mentioned earlier. Number 16, the attacking militias from Bokos and Mangu, well sophisticated and heavy weaponry that is not typically associated with non-state actors. This raises high suspicions on ethnic cleansing targeting the Fulani people in Plateau State. They explore media and various platforms to justify their atrocities by portraying the Fulani as the aggressors. The presence of heavy weaponry with the militia fuels our suspicion of the systematic and tactical move to eradicate Fulani from these local governments areas.
Concern about lives and properties that are lost by the day. That is a great concern. The paramount, the highest price one can pay is to lose his life. Any other thing is secondary. So the lives of Fulani man, a Fulani man is not immortal, he is also mortal. A lot of our people are killed. A lot of our properties, ranging from farm produce and other things, other belongings, including cattle, were killed and rustled in large number. Even the Fulani people cannot even ascertain, they will just give you a little of what they have recorded. So I am so much worried about the happenings, the crisis and resurgence of crisis after relative peace we have enjoyed. And I will use this medium to commend the federal government for her swift actions.
Everything that happened against us, if you take an example of some of the things that happened, like there was a time that a night attack was launched against our people and a woman's hand was cut off, and some cows were rustled in the process. So that was reported to the police, and the police made some arrests of some locals who are suspected to be the perpetrators of that act. And a lot of other things that happened against us. The security know, we are telling them, they know. That is not true. That is not Fulani. It is not Fulani that perpetrated these attacks. These attacks started in the morning of 24th. From morning to evening, Fulani houses in all the Fulani settlements around Bokos district were on fire from morning to evening. And it is the same attack that was done against us. We don't know how it escalated to the night. We don't know, because it affected us too. It started with us. We don't know how it happened. So the accusation against us is one of the blackmails that have always been launched against us. Yes, sir.
The groups, however, disclosed that all the atrocities committed against them were in the records of security agencies in the state, calling on all their members to remain calm and refrain from taking law into their hands. They also urged security agencies to investigate the recent attacks and killings and ensure justice for all. Ado Musa, Trust TV News.
In the meantime, the Christian Association of Nigeria in Plateau State organized a Plateau Peace Work Rally led by the CAN chairman, Reverend Polycarp Lubo, accompanied by Reverend Dr. Stephen Panya, president of the Evangelical Church Winning All. Prominent Christian leaders, including Reverend Amos Mozo and Reverend Kechi Woso, joined the solemn event to express discontent over the continuous killings in the state and the nation. Residents mourned the Christmas Eve attacks in Jos, and Governor Kelly Mofwang acknowledged the crowd at the government house refilled. Plateau State witnessed severe bloodshed during recent attacks, leaving over 200 dead, numerous houses and farmlands burned, and many injured.
The government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must do everything possible to prevent Nigeria from drifting into anarchy.
As the government accepted defeat in the fight against these bandits and terrorists.
Today, we call on the government of Nigeria and leaders of the world to address it as such and remember the women and children of Plateau State. Enough of sitting behind screens and round tables with no resolution. Action is required, and now is the time.
We will not sit back and watch our people slaughtered. By the grace of God, we will do all that it takes to ensure that this carnage is stopped.
Amen.
We will do all that we can to ensure that our land is secure.
Amen.
By the grace of God, the blood of the people that have been shed will not be in vain.
Amen.
It will continue to cry for justice.
Yes, Lord.
And by the grace of God, if we cannot bring the people to justice, we will take justice to them.
Amen.
A Kano Magistrate Court sitting at Nkaba has fixed January 18th for ruling on the bail application filed by 3 dependents in the murder case of one Nafiu Hafizu allegedly killed by one Hafsat Suraju. The defendants, Layebo Abdullahi, who is Hafsat's husband, Adamu Muhammad and Nasida Muhammad, were arraigned before the Chief Magistrate Court for concealment of facts of the murder. The prosecution counsel Lamido Soran Dinki said the defendants on December 20th conspired with one Haruna Adamu, now at large, to conceal the cause of Nafiu's death. Hafsat is standing trial on 2-count charge of murder and attempt to commit suicide. She pleaded not guilty to charges after confessing to the police that she single-handedly stabbed Nafiu severally on parts of his body after he tried to stop her from committing suicide. Besides Hafsat, the 3 defendants are facing 3-count charges bordering on criminal conspiracy, concealment of facts and false information. The presiding judge ordered that the defendants remain in custodial facility and adjourned the case to January 18 for ruling on the bail application.
What happened is that, as you are aware, as the last sitting, we applied for the bail of the defendants, and the State Council applied for another date to see whether the legal advice will come out. So even today, when we come back to the court, they informed the court that the legal advice is yet to come out, but they want this matter to be adjourned to another date. We objected to the adjournment of the matter, and we reaffirmed our application for bail, in which they did not object the application, and the court adjourned this matter to 18th this month for ruling on our bail application.
Now, in a sad development, one person has been confirmed dead after a fire outbreak hit an engine oil depot in Kano. Several buildings housing the facility were also destroyed by the raging fire. The depot, located at Hotoro Eastern Bypass, is suspected to be a warehouse where adulterated fuel is being stored. Firefighters from the State Fire Service rushed to the scene to put out the fire as residents of the area fled for safety. According to an eyewitness, the fire outbreak occurred when an oil tanker believed to be loaded with adulterated oil arrived at the facility. leading to the death of one person. Although the fire service arrived to help put out the inferno, the cause of the fire is still unknown. The police say investigations are still on to ascertain what caused the fire. The two other casualties are receiving treatment at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital. This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Governor Bello deposes 3 traditional rulers in Kogi. Details of that and more after the break. Please stay with us. In the ongoing police constable screening at the FCT Police Command, Commissioner of Police Haruna Garba emphasizes the importance of original certificates and warns against falsehood or forgery. The screening with over 600 applicants is aimed at bolstering the police force and ensuring improved security in the country.
The FCT Police Command, in sync with other police commands, is re-emphasizing the need for integrity in the process of recruiting qualified personnel for the police in the country. FCT Commissioner Haruna Garba underscores the need for due diligence in selecting qualified candidates.
And I want to inform all the applicants here that this exercise is free. You are not going to pay a kobo to anybody. The IGP, Kade, Ebetokun, PhD, NPM had already illustrated this point. So, whoever asks you to bring money, don't give. Fake or forged certificates. I think it is better for you just to leave so that you will not be apprehended. Because we will not tolerate that. I expected that as we are coming, all the documents they are going to present to the screening committee are genuine documents and certificates.
Some of the applicants speak on the motivations and quality of the process. Aishat Audu shares her intentions, expressing satisfaction with the smooth process and shares her expectations.
I applied for the police job because, one, I like the police job and I want to serve my country. My hope is that let them call me for the work so that I can be able to join and serve my country.
You only need your indigent form, your indigent certificate, with your original SSC results and letter of recommendation from any of your head district leader and medical reports. All of those things, you need photocopies and original in 2 flat files.
So how was the screening exercise?
Oh, very, very fine. Alhamdulillah.
So how did you go inside there?
Successfully.
The screening exercise is very good and nice.
Was there any difficulties?
There's not any difficulties. The hope I was the screening, I just want the result to come out successful to me.
The CP highlights that this stringent procedure aims to ensure the recruitment of deserving candidates. The screening will run on to January 29, 2024. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In a related development, the Nigerian Police Force on Monday commenced the screening of shortlisted police constables cadres for the 2022-2023 intake in Jos, the Plateau State capital. The exercise, which is holding at the headquarters of the police command, is for all shortlisted candidates from the 17 local government areas of the state. Adu Musa has more.
Let me see, have you written your number?
The exercise began as early as 8 o'clock on Monday. The recruitment exercise commenced with the screening of candidates' credentials, followed by a physical test, and then concluded with the submission of their papers at the final stage. Muhammad Gimba, the team leader of the exercise from the Police Service Commission, said the recruitment is to help tackle the security challenges in the country. He added that more badges will follow after the current exercise.
So far, so good. We are on course. Candidates that were shortlisted have started coming for the screening exercise, which commences today. And we have a very large turnout. And so far, so good. We've screened a lot this morning. Being the first day, we had some hitches setting up the place, but everything is going on smoothly now. A new police, renewed police, we are screening them thoroughly to get the best out of them. At the end of the day, we'll be able to screen and get the best out of the applicants, and that will boost the security status of the country. No, it's not enough. It's not enough, but it's the beginning. This is first batch of the 30,000 approved. This is going to be 10,000. Then it's going to be in segments. Yes, and we hope that after that, more approval will come to boost the number of Nigerian police to meet up with the United Nations standard.
The spokesperson of the State Police Command, DSP Alabo Alfred, while speaking on the ongoing exercise, said the command is doing everything possible to ensure the success of the exercise.
The Commissioner of Police, CP Okoroduila Salawari, has put everything in place to ensure that this exercise is issue-free. And like you have seen, the people have been taken, their names have been taken. Those other ones that are, you see everybody filling their files, doing everything that they are supposed to do as regards the screening. Earlier, we have met with the officers from the Force Headquarters and the officers from the Service Commission, Character Commission, and also from the Ministry of Police Affairs. All of us are working together to see that we get the best candidate for the job.
Some of the candidates speak on their expectations.
If I've been opportune to join Nigerian Police Force, first of all, I will serve my people based on my ability. And I will, since I have that position to join Nigerian Police Force, for me, it will depend my people and their property and my nation at large.
As a police officer, I'm hoped to, if I'll be paid, and stand to defend and serve the Federation as expected of me. And as all the misunderstanding or those breaking loose try to shape and reshape the laws to a better standard.
I should protect life and properties in the community and also in the society, and also to make sure that people are doing the right thing.
According to the Police Service Commission, the shortlisted candidates are the first batch of the 30,000 cadets expected to enroll the police force. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now, news just reaching us as part of the ongoing effort to rebuff crucial government agencies of Nigerian consumers and to strengthen key institutions supporting national economic CEO, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission Alexander Ayula Oko as Director General CEO Bureau of Public Enterprise. The dismissed executives, according to a statement signed by the media aide of the President Ajuri Ngilale, have been instructed to facilitate a smooth handover to the next most senior officers within their agencies, pending the appointment of new chief executive officers. The President's directive mandate has an immediate effect to their removal from office. Now, moving on, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum have accused heavy-duty vehicles plying the Maiduguri-Gambari-Ngala road with loads exceeding 100 tons of economic sabotage. Zulum, who stated this on Sunday in Gambari town of Ngala Local Government Council, highlighted the excessive strain that heavy trucks put on the road, leading to accelerated deterioration. He expressed concern over the long-term consequences of this practice, emphasizing that it undermines the federal government's efforts to improve and expand the state's infrastructure, hindering economic progress and development. The governor further emphasized the threat to public safety posed by overloaded trucks, citing the increased risks of accidents, particularly along the Maiduguri-Gambari road. He stressed the need for strict enforcement of weight regulations to protect both infrastructure and human lives. The governor lamented that resulting from the impact of overloading, the bridge linking the Nigerian part of the border and other neighboring countries was affected and nearly collapsed. Zulum announced his administration's plans to collaborate with relevant agencies of the federal government to address the issue effectively. Now, telecommunications services subscribers may soon start paying higher for calls and data as operators seek the federal government's approval to increase telecom tariffs in the country. If the telecoms request is granted by FG, Nigerians will pay between 10 and 15% more than the current tariffs, according to sources at the Nigerian Communications Commission and Ministry of Communications. Aisha Bello now reports.
According to the Nigerian Communications Commission, the country has around 222.5 million telephone customers at the end of 2022, with over 215 million active mobile phone subscriptions. Mobile phone services play a pivotal role in the socio-economic lives of Nigerians on a daily basis. Although sources say the expected tariff hike is yet to get the green light, deliberations are on the way to weigh its impacts on the lives of consumers across Nigeria.
It's going to affect us so much. Even previously, we are trying to manage how we can attend some of our seminars, our meetings online is not easy. Increasing more of the tariff of data is going to really cause a lot of damages to us because the economic of this country is not really helping. You see how people are struggling, how to survive. So it's not going to be easy.
About changing the code, when it change, it really affects me when changing the code. Because even my mom at home, she have to call me, even call me on WhatsApp call if she don't have this thing airtime. She call me on WhatsApp call there, which code they use in buying data. So all these things, making calls and the network is not good like that. Then increasing the daily plans now, which is data, it really affects me.
Sometimes they will be complaining of network, something. You buy data of how much? 2,000 naira. You have not even reached the specific date they give you, either week or the thing will just finish.
I think it's not a good welcome development. The reason being that every Nigeria makes calls. And that is one thing the common man always benefits from the government per se. And if they are going to increase it, it's going to affect virtually everything that the common man stands to benefit from the government.
It will be turned negatively on our business and our private life. So life is becoming unbearable. It's becoming difficult for everyone in Nigeria already with the increase in PMS and gasoline, diesel. So now that we go to call again.
For most Nigerians, a hike under the current economic climate will only further compound a dire situation. For now, it remains to be seen whether telecommunication service providers will get their wish to hike the tariffs. Efforts to reach the NCC for comments on this development were unsuccessful. Aishat Abdullah, Trust TV News.
Now, the Kogi State Governor Yahya Bello has deposed 3 traditional rulers in the state. Governor Bello revealed this at a media parley shortly after the Executive Council meeting in Lokoja on Sunday. Those deposed are the Onimisi, whose title of Obobangi of Ehima, the governor said, is the subject of a litigation in court, and the Oloife in Omala local government, Boniface, who has been suspended indefinitely. The governor has accordingly appointed Ahmad Tijani Anaji, who is the Ohi of Okonwe, as the Ohenoye of Ebraland, Ibrahim Gambo Kabir as the Maigari of Lokoja, Dauda Isa as the Mayaki of Kupa, while Saidu Akau Saluhu, who was also appointed as the Ohimege Egu Koton, who is to be turbaned immediately. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back, and now let's join Yusuf Akogo for Business News Update.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogo. A Chinese and a Nigerian firm have signed a $1 billion agreement to fund and develop gas flaring solution for Nigerians. The deal, which is important to Nigeria, will help to end gas flaring and introduce Nigeria into the world of green, sustainable energy production. Speaking at the agreement signing, Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of NIGUS, Abdulmalik Ado Ibrahim, said the partnership with the Chinese company is aimed at imbibing its new state-of-the-art technology profile to convert flare gas for commercial use. This new technology, according to him, will create gas to liquid, liquefied natural gas for exports, and of course liquefied petroleum gas, among others. GTL technology is a process that converts natural gas, the cleanest burning fossil fuel, to high-quality liquefied fuel such as gasoline, jet fuel, and diesel. With the automation of the process for passport application and issuance biled to take off today, Monday, Nigeria is on course to deliver one of the most widely expected reforms. Minister of Interior Olubomi Tunji Ojo announced last Tuesday that the automation of the process will begin on January 8, 2024 and will allow Nigerians to apply and complete their passport application process online without human contact. In December last year, Tunji Ojo hinted that the federal government was working to ensure a fully automated system of passport and application in the country, disclosing that the system was 99% done. The minister emphasized that the automated passport initiative represents not only a leap toward efficiency, but also a substantial enhancement to the country's security, with the promise to eliminate the need for manual document submission and physical visits to immigration offices. 18 Nigerian firms increased their liquidity by 77% in the first 9 months of 2023 amid uncertainties in the country's business landscape. The firms cut across various sectors that include fast-moving consumer goods, cement, healthcare, and telecommunications. The firm combined cash and cash equivalent reserves were 1.53 trillion naira, an increase from 862.8 billion naira in the first 9 months of 2022. Cash equivalent represents short-term investment securities characterized by high credit quality and liquidity. Now to the stock market. Indeed, another interesting close again for the first trading day of the week for Nigeria Exchange Group. Of course, the bulls again continue to dominate activities on the floor of the Nigerian stock market. If you look at the top gaining equities that we have, today we have the like of Julius Berger, Cortex playing in the cable industry, and of course Jais Bank all dominating the activities table, with the three companies gaining 10% each. Going to the market index itself, the index moved up to over 80,000 basis points. The first time Nigerian market is hitting this height, 0.83%. Indeed, that the all-share index also gained in terms of volume of trade, 1.152 billion there, and of course, the value 14.758 billion naira in a distance of 15,843. Indeed, a good day, you will say, for the capital market. What are the market movers for the day? We have the like of Transcorp, FCMB, and of course Fidelity Bank driving, moving the activities there on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Of course, when they are gainers, certainly there will also be some losers. There are some stocks that will not do well on the market every day. Today we have Darcom, Internal Oil, and of course Computer Hardware Group, one of the the company that did so well in the just ended year 2023. These are the highlights of the stock market as we have today on the floor of the Nigerian stock market. Let's look at the market in other climes. And finally, in business, crude oil price dropped after Saudi Arabia cut official selling price for all regions, underscoring a worsening global outlook and, of course, outweighing concern over Red Sea tension and supply disruption in Libya. Global benchmark Brent falls below $78 a barrel. That's after rising 2.2% last week. For the OPEC basket, price steadies at $78 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
And now away from Nigeria, the private U.S. moon mission launch on Monday has run into technical problems. The robotic company behind the project says its peregrine spacecraft has experienced an anomaly that has stopped it from pointing its solar panels stably at the sun. Without the ability to charge its battery, the mission's plan to land on the moon is in danger. As Robotics said, engineers were working on the issue and will provide updates when it had more information. The 1.2-ton lander was launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida on Vulcan rocket. It is aiming to become the first American mission in half a century to make a soft landing on the moon and the first commercial endeavor to do so. The U.S. Space Agency has purchased capacity on the lander for 5 instruments to study the lunar environment ahead of sending astronauts later this decade. Now, still on the foreign scene, 27 soldiers in Sierra Leone on Monday appeared before a court-martial which charged them with mutiny over their alleged role in what authorities say was an attempted coup in November. Security was stepped off around the courthouse in the capital, Freetown, where the proceedings were later adjourned to Wednesday. The 27 accused struggled to all squeeze onto the stand at the court-martial. Justice Minister Mohamed Lamin Tarawale was also present in the courtroom. According to the AP journalists at the scene on November 26, armed attackers stormed a military armory, 2 barracks, 2 prisons and 2 police stations, clashing with security forces. 21 people were killed and hundreds of prisoners escaped before authorities were able to regain control after what they deemed a coup attempt by members of the armed forces. At least 80 people were arrested in connection with the clashes, most of them military personnel. Former President Ernest Bai Koroma was charged last week with treason and other offenses for his alleged role in the events. His case was adjourned until January 17. And now finally on sports news, in the face of growing number of young substance addicts in northern cities, Trust TV's Jamil Mabey tells a story of a young boy who picked up a badminton racket for the first time, setting off a remarkable journey that would lead him to victory just 2 years later in the esteemed Under-17 Badminton Championship. The story of Katsina-born young Khalil is more than just a tale of triumph on the court. It is a shining example of how sports can provide a lifeline for young individuals facing extraordinary challenges. His report.
In 2015, Khalil began his journey in the sports of badminton. 2 years later, he won the Under-17 Badminton Championship.
A takaice dai 2015 na fara buga badminton.
I started playing badminton in 2015. By 2017, I made it into the junior national team. I won the Under-18 grassroots in Abuja. I won 2 gold medals for single and double category with my partner Saddam. I was called into the national team where we represented Nigeria in the Africa Olympics. We won 4 gold medals for Nigeria in the badminton category.
Nigeria badminton.
Khalil's story begins in Katsina, a state grappling with a high rate of drug users and substance abusers. It is a disturbing trend, with 7 out of 10 teenagers falling into the trap of substance abuse in the state. Khalil and over 150 young boys managed to escape this path by turning to badminton. By playing the sport, you exercise your body. At least you will disengage yourself from falling into drug abuse that most youth are doing. In a society where badminton is not considered a popular game for youngsters, it has become a lifeline for these boys. Through the sport, they have found success, fame, and a means to overcome the influence of peer pressure. I have won so many tournaments and medals. There are just plenty. I can't remember all of them. My friends mock me when going for training. One day they just heard I was flying to different countries to represent Nigeria, various tournaments and at high-level tournaments.
Representing Nigeria at various tournaments at high level kuma alhamdulillah an samu nasara sosai gaskiya.
What started as a small badminton community with 6 players has now flourished into a thriving hub with hundreds of enthusiastic youngsters. Inspired by Khalil's achievement, these young players have discovered their own passion and talent for the sport. But their journey doesn't end there. The impact of badminton has gone beyond the court. These promising athletes are being sponsored throughout their academic journey, from primary to tertiary education, by community members. Jamil Mobe, Trust TV, Katsina.
A remarkable story there. Now, German football icon Franz Beckenbauer passed away at 78 as confirmed by the German Football Federation to a PS Sports subsidiary seat on Monday. Beckenbauer, a rare figure who achieved World Cup victories both as a player and coach, breathed his last on Sunday, as reported by the DFB. The former captain of the 1970s German team had battled health issues in recent years. And with that, we have come to the end of Trust News Hour. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentary. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.